would like to call upon our chief guest, Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, to kindly come and present the address to the audience.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Dignitaries on the dais, all the special guests here, and the future of my country, India, Bharat, the new law students who are present here. It's indeed an honor to be speaking before you. This is an occasion where I come after eminent speakers have spoken. And I would not be wrong to say, जो स्पीकर बाद में आता है उसकी स्थिति ऐसी होती है कि रोटी पक चुकी है लेकिन तवे पे रखी हुई है, आप हटा भी नहीं सकते हैं और जल ना जाए ये भी देखना होता है. So that's my situation right now. Whenever I have these interactions, I was talking to Dr. Marwa and I said that I am not going to teach them anything. Rather, I am a recipient of the energy that they have. This young crowd is the future of my country, of our country. How we shape them, how we harness their qualities, what kind of citizens we make from them is our responsibility. So on a very positive note, my introduction said that I am the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party and also a senior advocate of the Supreme Court. But I must start with the words of Shri Narendra Modi ji, the respected Prime Minister of our country, which are truly inspiring. उन्हें गुमा है कि मेरी उड़ान कम है, मुझे यकीन है पूरा आसमान कम है. The beauty of our country, this democracy is this, that in this audience there would be supporters of the Bharatiya Janata Party, there would be supporters of the other opposition parties. First and foremost, for everyone should be the spirit of doing something for the country. As John F. Kennedy said, his famous words, don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask yourself what you can do for the country. And with utmost belief, a belief that resonates all over India, is a part of every breath that we take. This century belongs to India, it belongs to you. So we are very fortunate that we are serving the country during a time when India is going to be a global leader. And this introduction about our country, before I talk about law, my experiences, the highs and the lows, because without the country, neither would the institute, nor would I, nor would you exist. If the country prospers and does well, our future is bright. So if there is a non-negotiable parameter, the non-negotiable parameter is the welfare of Bharat, welfare of India. इसी बात पे मैं कहना चाहूंगा, एक बार मैं बोलूंगा, भारत माता की, भारत माता की. Thank you for the energy. The energy flows from you to me and from me to you. I must say that today, these sharp young minds with dreams bigger than ours are sitting here in the room. And you must be told that for every legal giant that you have heard of, you have seen, people have admired. That person began the journey just like you. I am talking about people like Ram Jethmalani ji. My personal experience, if I am not mistaken, he left us at the age of 96. I wasn't a senior advocate at that time, I was an advocate on record. But at 92 and 93, that man was full of life, vigor, with a dream as powerful as yours, as young as yours. And I remember he walked into the court when he was 93-year-old before a bench of the Honorable Supreme Court, courtesy of a newcomer. He bowed down and he said, "Your Lordship, I would like to address you." The respect that he commanded from the bench was this. The bench said that you are the Bhishma Pitama of this institution. आप बोलिए आपको क्या बोलना है. It doesn't matter आपका केस किस नंबर पे लगा है. पहले आप बोलिए. Now this senior advocate I am talking about, an institution unto himself. Very few people would know that he became a lawyer at 17. He was only 17-year-old, completed his law degree, and this has been narrated to me by Ram Jethmalani himself. So I am honored and privileged that I spent a lot of good moments with him. He said that he was 17, a very sharp, able mind, bubbling with energy just like all of you. He got his first brief. But do you know that he could not appear when he got his first brief? The reason was this, that you cannot enter into any contract when you are not a major. So how could he sign his wakalatnama accepting the brief? So before the partition, he went to the Chief Justice of the Karachi High Court. He said, "Sir, when I joined the legal profession, ऐसी कोई condition थी नहीं, जो condition थी नहीं, वो मुझ पे apply बाद में कैसे हो सकती है? Don't take away these valuable years of my life and profession." So impressed was the Chief Justice by this young Ram Jethmalani ji. He said, "I'll look into it, and I must tell you the Bar Council rules were amended. And thus at 18, Mr. Ram Jethmalani ji had the honor and privilege to defend his first client." Why did I narrate this? There are multiple reasons. One, it doesn't matter how young you are. You may be 17, 18, you may be 21, because I've been told that there are students of law here pursuing 3-year course and a 5-year course. Always have faith in your ability. Outside the courtroom, a senior advocate comes, we bow down, we greet him. That is out of respect. But inside the courtroom, when it is a legal war, the Arjun doesn't see that opposite him is Bhishma Pitama. He doesn't see it as Dronacharya, his guru. He fights to win, to do justice to his client. So Ram Jethmalani ji was one such person who wanted to utilize every minute of his legal career, and with the conviction that he had, he rubbed it on to the Chief Justice, and therefore he won his first legal argument. A legal giant was born. Similarly, I can tell you that this profession is a profession which would give you immense opportunity. For some, money is important. For some, recognition and fame is important. For some, honor is important. With my experience, I can tell you this profession will give you money. It will give you respect, name, fame and honor, everything, all combined. There are very few professions in the world who can offer you all these aspects of a career. Mr. Nariman, he has crossed 90. He is still appearing in the court. There are people like Nani Palkiwala, Mr. Sirvai, and many others. They are the milestones that you have to reach and then go beyond those milestones. Because when I speak here, I speak with the optimism that in this room, we have the future Chief Justices of India, the future Attorney General for India, the best legal brains and the future Jethmalanis of India. Never undermine your potential. Aim for the sky. And believe me, you will become taller to touch the sky. But while you are touching the sky, remember one cardinal principle again. शख्सियत वो नहीं होती है जो आसमान छू ले. शख्सियत वो नहीं होती है जो आसमान छू ले. शख्सियत वो होती है जो आसमान भी छू ले और जिसके पैर भी धरती पे हो. The challenges in this profession are immense. जो व्यक्ति ये सोचता है कि 9 to 5 का जॉब मिल गया, you are not fit for the profession, I can tell you. You have to sacrifice, make sacrifices which mean the most to you, your family, your leisure, being out in the open, playing with your friends, enjoying the rain, seeing the sunlight. But I can tell you there is one lawyer who's not only studying the brief, who's reading and reading and reading. And then again I'm reminded of a very nice anecdote. There were two men. Both were asked to cut a tree and they were given the same axe. The first man slept at night. 24 hours were there for both of them. He went in the morning, he tried to cut the tree. Tried very hard for 6 hours. He was perspiring. Couldn't achieve it in 24 hours. The second man came. He tried to cut the tree. Within 30 minutes, he could cut the tree. So the gentleman asked him, how could you cut the tree in 30 minutes? And it was a different tree, not the same one which was half cut by the first person. So he was asked, आपने कैसे काटा? उसने कहा जब रात आई तो मैं अपनी एक्स के जो आगे का ब्लेड था उसको शार्पन करता रहा पूरी रात. 12 घंटे मैंने शार्पन किया और वो इतना शार्प था, जब ट्री काटने की बात आई तो ट्री गिर गया, क्योंकि मैं रात भर जागा था, दूसरा आदमी सो रहा. This is what the legal profession is. When others are sleeping, you have to work hard. Read every judgment, read the brief, read every word of it, and be better prepared than the honorable judges on the other side, because they are seeking assistance from you. And do you know your responsibility? I will share with you one of the memorable cases that I have done. Being a lawyer who loves criminal law also, as a matter of belief and my principle, not that there is anything wrong in people who accept briefs for accused of crime committed against women, but I don't do it principally. There was a brief that came to me, and in that brief, when I met the victim, It was a heinous crime committed against a lady. Her dignity was violated. We generally interact with clients and we ask them, can you narrate the facts, and then we match it with the record, the file. Such is the scar and the wound for a victim. That lady could not narrate the incident to us. Dard hota hai. And the only thing she asked for is, I just want justice. So for a client, they have not seen God physically, but I can tell you a judge and an advocate who gets justice to the client is nothing but an incarnation of God. We were able to get justice to that lady, and I can tell you that no amount of money, no measure of fame can ever substitute the satisfaction that a lawyer gets when in cases like this, you are able to get justice for the victims. So this is one example of it. And why do I narrate it to you? A CEO of a company who has maybe 10,000 people working under him, when he faces a criminal trial or a situation where he is to be apprehended or arrested, he will come to an advocate and he will say, please save me. He will carry your briefcase, not out of compulsion, but out of respect. Respect because he has more faith in your ability to present his case than he has in himself. And I can tell you there are only two professions who have the power to save a person's life. And we all know one is the army of white coats. And from the bottom of my heart, I think this is also an occasion to thank the doctors and the paramedical staff who worked day and night during COVID so that we can have this session physically being present with each other. And I must also say that when 220 crore vaccines were given to all, nobody at that time ever thought that India would be able to achieve this impossible feat. And my own experience, I'll tell you, the Western so-called developed countries were saying, India का क्या होगा? Population इतनी है, medical facilities है नहीं. Hats off to every citizen of the country. अगर किसी के पास एक स्पेयर पानी की बोतल थी तो वो निकल के आया, उसने पानी की बोतल उसको दी जो घर चल के जा रहा. किसी के पास एक्स्ट्रा ऑक्सीजन का सिलेंडर था तो उसने दिया. And this country stood tall only because of the reason that everyone contributed and we stood as one family. And that is the beauty of living in this country. And that is why I say the power to change lives. जब हम इस प्रोफेशन में आते हैं तो आप सोचिए एक ट्रस्ट बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर होता है. ट्रस्ट ऐसा कि इफ योर इमीडिएट रिलेटिव विल आस्क यू कि ब्लैंक पेपर पे साइन कर दो तो आप कहते हो नहीं, सॉरी, ये बताइए कंटेंट क्या है, आई विल साइन इट. अ क्लाइंट वॉक्स इन, पहले तो जिससे उसकी प्रॉब्लम होती है तो ही सेज तो मैं कोर्ट में देख लूंगा. तो कोर्ट इतनी पावरफुल जगह है जहां वो जानता है कि जस्टिस मिलेगा. एंड द आइडिया ऑफ दिस प्रोफेशन इज टू इंश्योर जस्टिस फॉर ऑल. एंड सेकेंड, व्हेन द लॉयर सेज ये पेपर साइन कर दीजिए, तो वो एक नहीं आप उससे 10 पेपर कहते हैं, वो साइन करके दे देता है, आप रख लीजिए. व्हाट इज इट? इट्स द पावर ऑफ ट्रस्ट. एंड सिंस यू आर द पर्सन हु इज बीइंग ट्रस्टेड बाय अनदर सिटीजन, It is your greater duty to ensure you live up to his expectations and never break his trust. That is another principle of this profession. Third is a quote. I'll read these lines. I wanted to speak extempore, but I think these lines are very meaningful. I mentioned the name of H.M. Sirvai ji, a jurist we all look up to, and these lines I have read maybe 100 times. Very inspiring. Why am I reading? I will tell you after I have read the lines. It is important. Please have it on your desk, written all over. Read it every day. And I will share the reason why am I saying that. The lines are, and I quote, I realize that some of my criticisms may be mistaken, but to refuse to criticize judgments for fear of being mistaken is to abandon criticism altogether. If any of my criticisms are found to be correct, the cause is served. And if any are found to be incorrect, the very process of finding out my mistakes must lead to the discovery of the right reasons or better reasons than I have been able to give. And the cause is served just as well. So if there is a doubt in your mind, never think that, oh, बहुत बड़े आदमी हैं, मेरे टीचर हैं. आप fearlessly ask the doubt that you have. Reason out. And as I said from this quote, the reason is only this, that sometimes even in our classes, we are so overawed by the presence of a teacher or a brilliant student or a judge in the court that a lawyer feels, ये मैं बोलूँगा तो बड़ा गलत लगेगा, I'll sound like a fool. No. You have to ask the question if you are in doubt. And that is the process which leads to excellence. Not every time will you be perfect. Not every time will you be right. But when you are asking these questions, the process itself of being wrong and right will lead to greater confidence, and also it will lead to finding the right answer. There is one more very important thing I want to share, and I have believed in it. Maybe some of you don't agree, but it is my duty to share it with you. I was interning under Shri Rakesh Dwivedi ji, a very eminent lawyer of the Supreme Court of India. All the time that I could spend with him during my interning also was like blissful. You know, I was mesmerized by his presence. वो क्या बोलते हैं, कैसे बोलते हैं. So the day, there is a very beautiful ritual in our profession that when you graduate, the gown is given to you by your senior advocate. It's like passing of the good wishes from a senior to the junior. Guru अपना जो भी उसका knowledge है, good wishes है, आपको pass on करता है. So I was sitting with him in his car and we were heading to the court. He was kind enough to say, आप मेरे साथ बैठिए, कोर्ट चलते हैं. तो उन्होंने मुझे दो बातें बताई जो मैं आपसे शेयर कर रहा हूं, which are important. First, he said, never chase money. And especially on the litigation side, I've been lucky to be on the litigation side, and I think the corporate side has been so well touched by the earlier speakers. I will not even, dare to go that side. My experience is limited. But he said, don't chase money. And I'll tell you the reason simple. If you are amongst the top 50 litigation lawyers, I can tell you that money will be chasing you. It's a residue. Money की कमी नहीं होगी आपके पास. आप briefs मना करेंगे, people will be chasing you that I want you as a lawyer. So that's why accept briefs that are challenging, accept briefs That will strengthen our country, our society. And while you are pursuing law, don't think you are 3 years away from becoming a lawyer or 5 years away from becoming a lawyer. Every day that you are reading is adding to your armory. And you must remember, ये जो सारे शस्त्र दिए जाएंगे, ये जो अस्त्र दिए जाएंगे, यही काम आएंगे जब आप युद्ध के स्थल पे होंगे. और मुझे याद आ जाता है बड़ा little, not about law only, but these are principles of life, and I thought it is very important to discuss these with you. Karna was a great archer, just like Arjun. And महाभारत सबने देखी है, भगवत गीता सबने पढ़ी होगी, I hope. उसमें एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल बात आती है. जब लॉर्ड कृष्णा हैज अ डायलॉग विद कर्ण, कर्ण कहता है कि मुझे ये बताइए, आप कहते हैं मैंने गलत किया, मैं कौरवों के साथ था, क्या मुझे और मेरी वीरता को कोई याद नहीं रखेगा? So Lord Krishna very beautifully explained one line, and let me pose a question at this juncture. श्रेष्ठ बेस्ट कौन कौन बनना चाहता है? How many of you want to be the best in this profession? Okay, I see a few hands. So in one line I summarize, and please remember it all throughout your life. कृष्ण told कर्ण कि आप बहुत अच्छे वॉरियर हैं. There is nobody better than yours. But do you know why you lost the purpose of your life? The whole life, your fight was to beat Arjun. You wanted to be श्रेष्ठ. आप सबसे अच्छा बनना चाहते थे, and in the process you were comparing yourself with Arjun. Whereas an individual should always aspire to be Uttam, not Shresht. Because when you set your own benchmarks, when you decide that your competition is with you and not with anybody else, nobody can defeat you, and by the end of it, you will be Shresht and Uttam. And this is what Lord Krishna taught Karna, and I think it is something that has stayed with me, because we tend to compare ourselves with others and then get dissatisfied. What you are, nobody else is. You are the gift of God to Mother Earth, and there is no other person who can beat you or can replace you. Remember your uniqueness, that is very important. इसके बाद एक कमिटमेंट की बात जरूर होनी चाहिए, कमिटमेंट टू लॉ स्टडीज. देयर इज अ लॉयर फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस हियर. More than the material pleasures that we have, the bungalows and the cars, something that is most dear to us is our family, our kids, our wife, father, mother, relatives, friends. So this small anecdote again I am sharing. Some lawyer lost his father. There is an advocate on record exam. In the Supreme Court of India, if you want to become an advocate on record and file cases, you have to clear an exam conducted by the Honorable Supreme Court. I know of a lawyer who lost his father just before the exams, 14 days before his exam. His other very dear friend was relying on the lawyer that they will study together. Now this lawyer was so disturbed, because it is a great loss for all if you lose your father, that he couldn't study for his exam. So he told his friends, you please go ahead with the exam. Probably I am not in a state of mind that I can study. So the friend said, कि अगर you won't appear, then I won't write the exam. So the lawyer said, give me 3-4 days time, I'll get back to you. And the exam is only 10 days away. The friend comes back after 4 days. The lawyer says, we will give the exam together. Let us study for 1 week. And why am I sharing this with you? Because after a week, both wrote the exam. In December of that year, the results came. Both friends became advocate on record. Both became advocate on record, and both are flourishing, both are happy. But the example I cited for the reason, as Shakespeare said, there is a tide in the affairs of men. There is a tide in the affairs of men which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, the rest of the voyage is spent in miseries and sorrows. So there was an opportunity, there will be opportunities in your life. You have to take that opportunity. There will be serious issues, family problems. Some people feel low. Life is not treating you well. Doesn't matter. If you have to conquer the world, if you have to reach for the sky, never miss an opportunity. And when you want to find out who that lawyer was with his friend, I will give you the name later. I had a lot of other things to say, but keeping in mind that we have limited time in hand, and I don't want to make it only a legal oriented interaction between all of us. I just want to say one thing, that when you have joined this lovely institute, hearing Mr. Marwa speak so well, inspiring you, you are in very safe hands. You are destined to go miles. Never stop in between feeling that you have achieved much, because as I said earlier, and I would like to part on that note only, Swami Vivekananda ji said, arise, awake and rest not till you have achieved your goal. Enjoy the journey, but the destination is waiting for you. And I congratulate the institute, Mr. Marwa, this August gathering, who has been hearing me with so much of patience, that it has been an honor to come here. And one day, all these students who are sitting here, irrespective of their caste, religion, political ideologies, there is one strong common thread that joins us, that binds us, and that thread is of being an Indian, and together we'll serve the country well and take it to new heights. Thank you so much.